Welcome back, everyone. This is Mackie here, and welcome to day 2 of our Worlds Preview package. Today, we'll be talking about our good old friends of the LCS Golden Guardians. Wait a minute, that's not the Golden Guardians logo. That's probably the oldest logo that I ever seen. Can we just freshen up this new logo thing? Much better. Now, Golden Guardians was a team that feels like they're good, but they're just not that kind of good enough. Like, they have some few players here or there. They have FBI, they have Hui, but this team kind of feels like they're just there, good enough to be decent, but not good enough to challenge the elite or titles, if you might say. Enter 2023. They have the veterans, they have the swag, they have the caps saying F you and all this kind of stuff. They have that. And what Golden Guardians have put in together was probably one of the most dominant years in Golden Guardians organizational history, which says something. So they started off the year 99, pretty middle of the class, 6th place and such. And then they went on a tear into the lower bracket run, all the way to the finals, beating FlyQuest, and manages to make it to MSI, only to losing to Cloud9 in that dominant Cloud9 team, Blabber and MNS and such. Now, if you're thinking, Cloud9 is probably a failure in the LCS, FlyQuest is a gigantic failure in my eyes. I mean, remember when everybody's saying that FlyQuest should make it to MSI? Remember when everybody's saying that FlyQuest should make it to Worlds when Vulcan was in? Pepperidge Farm remembers. So anyways, Golden Guardians made it to the Worlds, took a game out of BLG, who went on to make it to the finals themselves. Licorice was absolutely amazing. So does Hui, of course. Fortunately, they fell off, losing to JDG. I mean, everybody losing to JDG at this point right now. Make it to Cloud9 in the lower bracket, get beaten by Cloud9, and that was that, their first international appearance. Kind of feel not as great, but you know what? Nobody's expected them to do well, so there we go. And then they pop off. 15-3 into the season. Coaching staff of the year for the whole team. Most improved player by Licorice. And 2 first-team All-Pros by Licorice and Hui themselves. And yes, I know the LCS is a little bit weak, and it is weak by my standards, but listen, 15 wins in a regular season, it's not bad. It's not too shabby, of course. The whole team played incredibly well. The mid-jungle synergy was popping off incredible. Top lane looking good. Bot lane looking decent. I mean, I feel like, everybody's looking at Golden Guardians to maybe win LCS or maybe make Worlds or something. They did make Worlds. Except, boy, they put on an absolute stinker. And my God, the mid-jungle synergy choked so hard. I mean, literally choked so hard. I mean, Gory and River were not good. Licorice did incredibly well. The bot lane was but the jungle, man, it was horrible. They did manage to, make it to the playoffs by beating like Team Liquid or such, but it kind of feels like they don't belong here, And right now, I just feel skeptical about this team. How did they fare against BDS or such? So we're gonna find out. So let's just look at the players they have. First off is our good old friend Licorice. Now everybody knows Licorice as the big old Cassante player. He plays a lot of Cassante. He plays a lot of Jax. He plays a lot of Renekton as well, and he is really, really good. 54.9% of KPA, 22.3% damage on the Gold.gg website. He has been pretty good, and he's been like the most improved player of this season. Also, this is not his first rodeo trip, from like Worlds in Korea. He did banish Korea from the Nessus like about 5 years ago. So yeah, if we get this Licorice back from like 5 years ago, I think that'll be great. I mean, he is really, really good. In the jungle is River, 72% kill participation with a 16% damage. I feel like he's probably like the weak spot in this Golden Guardians. He play a lot of Sejuani, he play a lot of Makai, he also play a lot of Kindred and Bai, of course. So that was his main champions, of course. And he was off, I guess. He was really, really off in the playoffs when, everybody was looking at him to be a good pop-out star. He kind of disappeared, of course. But I just really wanted to get back to his form, of course, especially in this World qualifying series against BDS and such. Next up is Ori. We got a 29% damage dealer. Pretty impressive. On champions with Azir, Jace, Silas, and maybe a little Talia for support. He also played with Tristana and Ari, but we're not going to touch on that. Some of the champions might not even make it to the World's meta, of course. I believe that I think River is pretty much good right now, but his synergy with Gory has got to be key in order for him to be consistent enough in winning. I'm sorry, I meant Gory and River has to be consistent. I think the mid-jungle synergy has to be good enough to beat BDS and to maybe get some gains out of China in a best of one or something. And they got Stickstay. Pretty good. 62% kill participation, 26% damage. He played Aphelios, Kaiser, he played the Israel, he plays Zayas as well. He is really, really good. I think he's going to be good enough to even compete with the BDS LCS bot lane of crowning. I feel like bot lane is probably like the main threat, of course, between the two best bot lanes, of course, in their region. So that would be interesting. But I think by pool and everything and skills, I think I got Stick State to win it. And then, of course, you got your boy Hui. He was a former Golden Guardians member, off again, on again kind of relationship. He did okay. He played Rakan. He played well, pretty well. He plays the mean Leona. He also played Nautilus as well. And if I remember correctly, in MSI this year, he was playing Set pretty cool. So are we gonna get Set in this set of matches for Worlds? Maybe not, but I will dare to dream, of course. You know, you never know in Worlds. I mean, we already saw like Temu last year, so I guess we might do something. So, I feel like Golden Guardians are looking like a really good team. As for the matchup against BDS, I told you yesterday that I feel like BDS can win this thing. And while my head can say BDS in terms of European dominations, I feel like Golden Guardians are good enough to win. I feel like this is Golden Guardians' time. I mean, they wet the bed in their chances of making the Worlds, and I feel like this is right now their golden opportunity, pun intended, to make it to Worlds and to make this organization. When they lose to BDS, it will be the biggest failure since FlyQuest in the LCS. Although, you know, the whole LCS is an entire failure unto itself. Who do I know? That should do it for the Golden Guardians segment of this preview. So that means we're already covered the Worlds qualifying series. Tomorrow, I'm going to pick a team from the play-ins and do my little preview about it as we're going into the play. Which team should I preview? You better find out and tune in. Subscribe, like, comment. I'll see you next time. Ciao!